Ladies and gentlemen and art school students around the world, this is the education that you've been waiting for. There will be no anti-merit ideologies, no denigration of skill, no self-indulgent victim narratives, no andro-heterophobic brainwashing, and absolutely no quarter given to critical theory nihilism. The Bare Knuckle Art School is in session, and the man in charge of education is Professor Hard Knocks, Shanthan Jetty!
What's up, everybody? How are you doing? And happy Sunday to you from the heart of Lovecraft country and the birthplace of American religious liberty. My name is Shanthan Jetty. You're watching Shanthan Jetty Art, and welcome to Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. Guys, I am very, very excited because I got to go on my first hike in months. We've been getting rain every weekend, snow, all kinds of craziness. Haven't had a chance to get out, and where I go hike is not some crazy complicated trail, but it is a nice place where you can see some deer, you can see some turkey, you can see it's a bird sanctuary. It's oh, is the audio low? Let me check. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the one thing I didn't check. Well, might not be the one thing I didn't check, but let's just see here. Sound. Let's see what it wants to do. And I just installed a new operating system. Well, that's never good. Huh. Okay, there we go. Let's try that one more time and see if sound comes up now. Not having my skirt blown up by this right at the moment. Sound. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Hang on a second. Way down. Yeah, the sound is... Boy, it is running slow. What is going on? Alert volume. I just got a brand new setup going. Okay, let's try that one more time. Sorry, guys. This is one of them things. So they made me update my my operating system. What in the Sam Hill is going on? Oh, come on. Nope. Come on, work. Okay. Hold on a second here. I'm going to try this one more time, and then I'm going to see where we're at. Maybe I just need to get myself closer to the mic. Maybe I'll have to do that, but I really would love for the sound to work on this thing. We do, it's not a very professional operation for sure. It just isn't. We're here. I'm going to steal that from AJ. Input level. Please move. All right. We're going to have to come back to that, Stephen Rockwood. It seems okay. It's all right. Shanth is secretly proud of his... Corey Landis, you got me, man. You made me laugh. First one to do it. Oh, my gosh. Well, we'll see how it goes. What's up? And here we go. Mr. Stephen Rockwood celebrating the Alpha, the Omega channel member, celebrating 40 months of membership. Where is Shanth? I just see some guy without a hat. You're absolutely right. I'll have to figure out which hat I put on. I should put on a hat. Let me see. Better. It's a little bit better. Okay, I got a little closer. What? Why, Siege Perilous? Why? What is up, Mikey Madness? How are you doing? Mikey's Madness, it's great to see you, Mikey's Madness 420. I hope you're well, guys. We're going to do... Siege Perilous, give me some more news on that, because what the heck? Cursed Art Creations, it's great to see you. Let me say hi to my channel members real quickly. I just got thrown for a loop. Stephen Rockwood, of course, channel member, and let me get him some cheerleaders. Charge! Charge! There we go. We're back at it like a bad habit. Great to see you, Leighton Gay. I hope you are doing well, my friend. And yes, indeed, Children of the Night. I love seeing that in their channel member. Let's see who else I've got. Where are my channel members? Of course, I've got Cursed Art Creations, and I think I saw the infamous Mr. Cursed in here somewhere. Where are we? And I've got Tammy, of course, in the house. Tammy is here. Let me see. Where are we? There is Lord Hinson, Comic Skater. It is great to see you, Lord Hinson. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Feeling like OG more and more every time I see you. And there we go. Infamous Mr. Cursed is here. It is great to see you, Infamous. And yeah, let's figure out what the heck is going on. You guys bring me the news. Copyright strike in... Oh, sorry. Let me see here. Whoop, just jumped. You, Shane, and Bosch are the guys with hair. Yeah, is that how... That's how you guys spot us. That's right. Copyright strike in... about 30 seconds. Oh, Aerosmith did it. So they just took it down for a second. EVS has only been streaming a few minutes. Oh, I gotcha. That's ridiculous, man. That's crazy. Yeah, they've been very, very jumpy with that. So, guys, lots of crazy stuff going on. So, a couple things. A couple of housekeeping items while we figure out what's going on with this new operating system. So, talked to the printer, got the paper stock right. They are working on the digital proof. So the digital proof, we had some back and forth over what was the best way to print it, and we decided to go with how we printed the first books because I was just not confident to try to mess with the color after, and they weren't that confident with it after they saw my the example I sent them. They were like, let's do it this way first, particularly because of the print numbers, and that way, you know, the paper stock is going to be what I want it to be and all of that kind of stuff. But the digital proof is going to be emailed to me on Monday, I'm guessing. That's going to show the pagination. And then once I approve that to make sure all the pages are where they're supposed to be, which I'm going to have, like, that's the thing that we're going to have to look at, double look at. So easy to have an issue with that. It's not even funny. And then it's going to be on to the physical proof, which is going to show me what their printers do, and it'll be the closest to what the colors look like. I just don't feel like taking any chances with a fully painted book in the printing process. I need to know when I get my proof that that's how it's going to be printed. So we're going to see how that goes. And then, so that, I'm really excited about that. That has been, for those of you guys who don't know the story, the printer I've been using since I did the first two art books and Nosfero went out of business, and it was probably due in large part to the lockdowns. And so, you know, I was in this situation where I had to find a new printer. And again, I want to thank Graham Nolan for, I've reached out to him and asked him for some questions. And it was great. He said, here's my printer, here's my contact there, and they've been wonderful. So printed in the U.S.A. As we do, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Nosfero. Heavier stock on the cover. We're doing 1 point extra, and then it's going to be the heaviest stock they keep in for interiors, which is 100-pound paper, so I'm looking forward to it. Good, thanks. Don't like the time. Yes, exactly. I don't like the time change either. I thought we were going to stop that time change thing. I was optimistic, but unfortunately we have not. So guys, lots of cool stuff going on. I am working on the show. I know we have some artists here. I know we have some artists who are channel members. So here's what I'm working on right now. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to go about it, but I think what I'm going to do is any channel members I have here who have an illustration that they, who are comic book artists. I know Stephen Rockwood does artwork. I know Timmy Mello does artwork. I know a lot of you guys do. If you guys want to be, if any of you guys want to be, have me look at your work and do notes on it, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to try to figure out a good way to do it, but I'm getting the stuff together for the first show of Bare Knuckle Art School, and I'm really excited about it. And it's, in a lot of ways, it's going back to what I love about teaching, but it's also because I am seeing a lot of, there's such a need for it, and there's such a need for demos. And I think that's so important. I will get used to it. Laugh out loud. Sorry, everyone is watching EVS shots. Oh, no, that's fine, man. That's total. Listen, here's the thing that's important. I love this creature, Sean. Thank you, Colonel Zaid. Glad to hear it. Here's the thing about all that sort of stuff, guys. You guys know that I've been trying to stay regular with my streaming. And so one of the things that has been so frustrating is I was doing Pizza Live, and then YouTube started just claiming stuff. People who don't even own the rights to public domain movies were claiming, oh, I want to claim this video and that, and it was getting really ridiculous. And I was trying to come up with, I had to sort of take a beat and say, what kind of shows do I want to do? And what I love doing is hanging out with you guys on a Sunday, showing books, talking about art, doing some painting, talking about process. And then the next thing I kind of came to, and I've been chewing over this for a while, like Bare Knuckle Art School's logo and design has been around for a very long time, and I've been sort of chewing over it. But finally, I started thinking about how I would go about it, some of the craziness that's been going on with art schools and in education. It just sort of seemed to me that there was a need for this. So yeah, so that's my plan. Well, you know what? It does sometimes, but you know how Fiber is. Fiber is a mysterious mistress. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, I appreciate that, Mikey. Much appreciated. How would you review my stick figure drawing, Sean? You know how it goes. Oh man, no more pizza. No, it's not that I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to do it on special occasions. I do want to do stuff. There's some movies I'm looking at, but I'm telling you, every time I look at a movie that is clearly in the public domain, I just go, what are they going to try to hit me for? Like, what are they going to try to grab me for? Because they don't check it. It's sort of like the Aerosmith thing that Ethan's dealing with. Lord Hinson, Comics Gator celebrates 14 months of member. My God, is it 14 months already? I love it. I love it, Lord Hinson. 14 months of membership. Can't wait to check out Nosfero for the first time, and then the art-only edition. I am beyond excited to see that proof, Lord Hinson. Beyond excited to see that. My glasses, sorry. Check out for the first time, and then the art edition. Thanks for your attention to details. It'll be worth the wait. Yes, and it is. I will tell you what, guys. It has been. We're all just spinning plates like crazy. John's got his campaign, which is wrapping up this week. Don't miss it. If you back at the highest tier, the link is in the description. Mods, if you wouldn't mind putting Black Riding Hood in the chat, that would be really helpful. But my cover is going to be exclusive to the box, so it's gonna be one of the rarest variant covers. Is the one that I did for Black Riding Hood. And speaking of which, let me see. Hold on one second here. I mean, it has just been nuts here. Let me see if I can do this here. There we go. Now this might not open. I just realized because I have a lot of files open, so it might crash my computer. Yeah, I think it's going to crash my computer. Sorry, guys, if that happens. Let's see. There we go. Let me know if we're completely dead color-wise. So if you guys have not backed Black Riding Hood yet, make sure you do. Look, Steven, this is getting abusive. But you know I love you. You know that. You know that. Canada has given us some great things, especially Todd McFarlane and Travis Charis. I hate that he got me to pronounce his name wrong. What is up, Soul Curialt? How are you doing, my friend? Yes, guys. Hail Pittima, where are you? Where are you? Where did I see? There we are. Hail, you beautiful people. It is great to see you, and I hope you're having a good one. And yes, guys, back Black Riding Hood. So I'm going to be showing you guys some cool stuff I'm working on in various ways, digital and things like that. But the only way to get this cover is to back at the box level, which is it gives you every color, every variant. If you've already backed the box, then you're going to get this cover anyway. But this was one of the most fun pieces of artwork that I've ever done. It is filled with layers, filled to the brim with layers, and we're zooming in way further than I would normally feel comfortable. But this is all the work that went into it. This is all the color, all of the craziness, and that was the goal with this cover, is just to make it something really nuts. I don't usually do the Springball style. Oh, it's pronounced charret. Well, apparently he made that up, Stephen. He apparently made that up and pronounces it charist, and he wanted to see if it would catch on. He said that in a recent interview. And I was absolutely, I don't know what to say. Great use of that too. Oh, awesome. You saw it, infamous Mr. Curse. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I had to do it. I think I've talked to you guys before about, some of my bigger influences. And one of them is, of course, Tim Vigil, who did these very, hyper violent, hyper everything comics. But he also had this way of drawing and illustrating blood. What's up, Drummer on Fire? It's great to see you. He had this way of drawing blood, drawing casings, drawing action. And it was so cool. So cool. Then he doesn't know. See, I agree. It is French, and it should be pronounced Charest. I agree. Well, let's call him Charest then. Stephen Rockwood, I'm with you. I'm with you. So, quick question I have to ask. I have to ask this question. So, Ethan is streaming right now, you guys are saying. Is he drawing too? Is he working on art? I love the idea of it. It's very cool to think about. All of us kind of hanging out and drawing, and you guys hanging out here with us. I love it. So make sure you hit the like. Make sure you share this stuff out. Guys, we're going to have some fun today, and we're going to talk comics. I've got some very cool books to show you guys, too, that I want to show you guys. Yes, awesome! Love to hear it, man. I love to hear it. Yeah, man. Lots of cool artwork going on. And so this is another factor of why I wanted to do Bare Knuckle Art School. Here's what it is. Here's everything it's about for me. Which is, when I went to art school, I think that most people who are trying to improve at their artwork, people who've been working on it for a while, know that it's not where they want it to be. That's why a normal person goes and gets education. At a certain point, it seemed to me as though college education and a lot of art education seemed to be about going in, doing what you do, and then being praised for it, which is so detrimental to your education, to your learning, to your artwork. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a place where you can actually learn how to make artwork by looking at what people are doing, watch how it gets critiqued, and watch how, oh, that's awesome, Rainbow the Brute, man. I'm looking forward to it. That's so great. Awesome. And so that's what I wanted to do, because one of the most important things that, for me at least, in terms of learning how to make art, what is up, Leg Kick One? It is great to see you, brother, was having someone sit down, look at what I'm doing, and then say, okay, here is how you fix that. And it's not the same thing as having it up on the wall and having somebody go, okay, you need to move something to the left and things like that. It really gets to be, the more that you get to a certain point where your stuff is in that level where it's getting refined, but you're ready to level up to the next step with your stuff, that's when it gets harder. Like a lot of things, it's almost like pulling a bow back. The further back you draw the string, the harder it gets to pull back. And that's what happens a lot of times when it comes to hitting a wall with your work. And so for me, doing things like this and drawing, what's up, Scribe Comics? How are you doing? Good to see you. For me, doing stuff like this is an opportunity to show what, the process is, but also zero in on people who are like, I'm in Comicsgate, I'm doing work. Maybe I've done some pinups. Maybe I've won some art contests. Maybe I've, just am trying to figure out how to do this stuff. And my rule is, you got to be an adult. You got to be over the age of 18. And if you're got a comic page or something that you're working on, I prefer it be a comic book page or or maybe a confined illustration. But pinups, there's only so much you can really do with a pinup. And I'll be happy to take a look at it, give you some thoughts. And then I'm also going to be showing books and doing all the kinds of stuff that I loved to do when I was teaching. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff going on. So let me show you guys some cool stuff I'm working on and some crazy stuff I'm working on along those lines. Working on a bunch of different things. So let me show you. You're seeing this right now. This is Black Riding Hood. If you have not backed it, this is the special cover that's going to be an exclusive to the box. It's going to be probably the rarest cover on that campaign of Black Riding Hood. The only way to get it is to back Black Riding Hood at the highest tier on fundmycomics.com. And Fund My Comic, when John's campaign closes out, which I think is going to be Wednesday, we're closing it out. So this coming Wednesday, I think we're closing out John Malin's Black Riding Hood campaign. So only a couple more days to get it. This is going to probably be the rarest piece of artwork that I have in publication. So we'll see where it goes. And I can't wait to see. What's up, Tiny Effort? How are you doing? It's Richard here. The original Springball fan has arrived on the scene. How are you doing, brother? I'm doing great. I was just talking about a cover I did an exclusive cover for called Black Riding Hood 2 by Jonathan Livingston Malin, who did the alternative, one of the covers for Springball. So he did an alternate cover for Springball, and very excited. Thank you, Cursed Art Creations. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so you probably will recognize this tiny effort because this is very much in the style I was approaching Springball in, except for it's sort of the new and improved. And for those of you guys who, again, are curious how the process starts and why I work in color the way I do, this is a look at the start of a page when I'm doing my thing. So this is how I go about. Let me close this so I can free up some space. This is how the stuff begins. And I definitely think that it's important for us to kind of show how we break things down, how we look at things, how we figure out how to make the work. And you got to be careful about things like zooming in too much and all that other stuff. But I want to talk about sort of the broad strokes of it and show you some of the different things that we do, because I do all of this stuff. Thank you very much, Scribe Comics. I appreciate it, my friend. I do all of this stuff on a laptop with a trackpad and just a handful of brushes, which is a hard round, a soft round brush, and then I don't even know what the name of this brush is, but I'm sure it has a name. And everything I do using my trackpad because it's a little bit easier and I have a little bit more, hand control with it. So let me show you what the process looks like and show you a little bit of how these pages evolved. This page was originally a fairly static page, and the approach I was taking was, let me see where I am layer-wise. What layer was I on? Let's see. Oh, there we go. This page, I love that. I must have moved. Oh, I see what I did. I moved the eye there. Let me merge that down. So this page was a page that I had shown to John, who was looking at this stuff. Thank you, Colonel Zaid. Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on here? Hold on a second. Colonel Zaid saying amazing word. Leg Kick 1 became a member. Welcome, Leg Kick 1. It is great to have you with us. I need to get you some cheerleaders forthwith. Here you go, brother. Let's have it.
Charge! Charge!
Colonel Zeta says, I'm animating at the moment. Please label those layers. This is going to keep you up at night, Colonel Zaid. I'm going to apologize in advance for what I'm about to tell you because there's certain things that people shouldn't know. If you look at, I should show, no, wait, I don't think I'm going to call it up. If you look at the layers to one of the covers I did on Springball that I'm doing, I swear to you, there's a layer that says this one, and then another layer labeled, and this one too. So I remember that I need to have those layers on. It's so bad. It's diabolical. It's diabolical. And welcome aboard, Leg Kick 1. It's a pleasure to have you here. What is up, Overlord? How are you doing? Hail, Shanth. You are wild for only using a trackpad. Have been there before. I cherish my display tablets. I know. I hear you. I know it works. I know it works. As I tell everybody, I quit smoking, guys. I can't do much more. I can only be so good, And so here we go. So let's talk about, because I love showing this kind of stuff. When I'm doing this kind of work, I need to be able to use a big brush and be able to paint out areas as well and work additively and subtractively. So there's, like, when you're watching me work, just remember it's just my middle finger, which funny enough I use for most communication in this world. It's the only sign language I'm really proficient in. And then I'm actually kind of using it like a stylus. And part of that has to do with the fact of respect, Kilroy. Respect. I feel you. Yeah, man. Overlord, 100%. It is. There's two things that are. There's two things I always tell people that are hard to quit. And Beowulf has been talking to me about this. What's up, Ice Queen? How are you doing, Ice Queen Katie? Good to see you. And I always tell people this: smoking is incredibly hard to quit. Swearing is incredibly hard to quit. Really hard to quit. And then the other one is me use like my penchant for taking the Lord's name in vain, which is like a horrifically ingrained reflex. So I try to throw things in place of it, but it's just But for me, that's the stuff I've quit a lot of different things, and I think that as we say in the South, cussing is one of the hardest, man. It's just one of those things. What Shanth is trying to say is, Lord knows I got problems, Stephen Rockwood. You know better than anybody. So yeah, so when I'm working with this stuff, and I'll give you an example on, I'll do a new layer here just to show you what I mean. But sometimes I know a lot of people get into the, using, brushes on lower opacity, and that can be interesting. You can do some cool stuff with it. But oftentimes I think you can get into a habit of putting things off when you have your brush on too low of opacity. So it can be good to create like a little bit of a palette right here on the cheek of like a nice little range of value, and then you can come back to it later. So you'll see me do things like that from time to time. Yeah, I hear you. Quitting smoking is definitely hard to quit. A little over 2 years, cigarette-free. Congratulations, Curstar Creations. Sometimes I miss it, though. I miss it like crazy. I miss it all pretty much every day. I miss it every single day. And it was just one of those things where it was just... I'm one of those people to where I like to work really hard at everything I do, and that is how I approach smoking, and that's how I had to approach quitting. One of those things. Your art is so beyond what... Oh, gosh. Thank you, Mikey. That's a very nice thing to say. Your art is so beyond what I could do. It's inspiring. You, too, cursed me with plushies. That's right. I'm smoking right now. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry we made that happen. I blame us. When a character slips on ice and the dialogue is cut to, I assume they're thinking fudge. I think A Christmas Story for that. That's great. You're not even addicted at this point. Celebrate. Stephen Rockwood. Behave. Stephen Rockwood keeps me laughing, man. What would I do without my Stephen Rockwood? And if you're not subscribed to Stephen Rockwood's drawings channel, please do subscribe to it. He has some really great stuff he's doing right now with ink, and was doing some washes, I think, on the last one I saw, if I remember. But it's a really good way, if you're a painter, to get used to how you can put things together. And I don't know how much of this I'm going to keep, but I want to show you the things I think about when I'm doing this type of work. So little things like the subsurface scattering that can kind of happen when when light passes through the skin and comes out the other side. So putting warms into shadows and things like that are things I like to sometimes explore. So the very last thing that I tend to do whenever I'm doing these pieces is I pretty much go in and then I put the lines in. It's the complete opposite of how comics traditionally work and how I used to work. And I think that was a problem that I had with this kind of stuff, was working in a different way. What's up, Darth Gutierrez? How are you doing, brother? It's great to see you, man. There you go. Thank you, Mikey. Look at all this. Look at all you guys. Yeah, it is. It's very, very tricky to do, man. And I think, like a lot of things, it's, you got to find something else to be doing. Like I can't, for me, it's like having a good sleeping schedule is not something I'm ever going to master. So I have to pick my battles. And, that's a huge part of it for me, is just trying to make sure I'm keeping on top of things and able to work. Not to mention, by the way, how expensive cigarettes got. My goodness, man. I mean, when I was a kid, and I probably started when I was about 11 or 12, and I think they were just like $1 or something at that point. And then at some point, let me just make sure I've got, there we go. There's the brush. At some point, it just jumped up to, I don't even know what it is a pack now. Probably something horrendous. What layer is that on? I better go up and see what I've got happening here. Let's see here. Nope. Okay. Oh, I bet it's on. There it is. It's on this layer. That's why. I knew it was going to be something like that. So yeah, it depends. It honestly depends on what on whatever fickles your tansy and whatever your poison is. But it was not an easy thing to do. To be sure, and I like to approach things from the standpoint of, just doing. I have to do things in a way that makes sense to me, and this is one of those ways to. Let me see. We got some new comments here. Let me see. Glad to be saving that money. Yeah, it's gotten absolutely crazy expensive now. Yes, indeed. Springball is on its way, guys. It's like I'm working on it. Nosfero's got to fall first. And then, which is, of course, why I cannot wait to see the printer proof, which should be on Monday. And then I get to give them the green light for the physical proof, because I have to have a physical proof I like. And it's important. Cursed Art Creation says, so expensive, glad to be saving the money. Now I can spend it on yarn. Mrs. Ingetti would be thrilled, and is thrilled to hear that. Gotta spend that money on yarn. That's how it works. Yarn is a serious addiction, but one you don't have to quit, thank goodness. So that's a part of it. There we go. So let's try to start breaking things down once I get to a good point with, get to a good point with how the things are coming together and how the characters are working. So with things like this, I'll do little, we got to do sample all layers. Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. Things like this, I have a tendency to grab, let's see here, this one, that'll do. Just grab like an area, and where it lets it break, I let it alone. So I can kind of put some warms in there. A little bit of warm underneath the nose. Right there. Let me grab some more of that. On the lip, where the light's hitting it. And then, of course, on the ear, there's going to be some warm. And I'll probably have some more shadow to fade that in. But there's the other aspect of what I do, which is a big part of it, is just grabbing those sections and blocking it in like you would with a painting. And that's another aspect of what I do, just to make sure that I'm staying in that zone of creating good shapes, and then the detail is becoming, another layer to that, so to speak. No pun intended, but likely. There we go. All right, so now we're seeing how this is going. Let me see here. Leighton says, do you use a lot of layer properties for effects or more traditional techniques on normal layers? It depends. It depends. So for some of the covers, I'll do a lot of layer techniques and in interior pages, but the main thing is I'm just painting. The best advice I ever got about or heard about Photoshop was from Adam Hughes, and Adam used to say, I could teach you everything I know about Photoshop, which he was overstating it, by the way. In 5 minutes, all you got to do is learn how to paint. Now, for me, Photoshop is a software that I know incredibly well, and I wouldn't want to teach it. I don't think I have that level of knowledge. I am actually married to a certified Adobe teacher, and but I'm not one of those, to be sure. But it's got properties that took me a while to figure out that, one, I was a painter, and two, this is my sort of preferred way of working, because I need the brush to do things that I don't expect, but I don't want it to be a brush that puts too much of its own flair on there. And there's a lot of custom brushes where I always get concerned that that it's already, everything you do with a brush is AI driven. It's not as if there's a natural surface happening there. I mean, it really is, the artificial intelligence saying, okay, this is what we're going to do with the motion that you just did, which is why it takes a little bit of time for it to come together. But I just like to make sure, there we go. Nope. That was funny. And I'll adjust all this stuff, but I just like to have that sense of play when I'm doing this stuff, so that when I fade in and out of various, elements of this, that it still maintains some kind of painterly integrity, because I've got to look at these things when I start them out. I try to look at them at a distance and say, okay, warm, cool. This is happening. Definitely certifiable Stephen Rockwood. If you hadn't made that joke, I would have been disappointed, by the way, because that is a Stephen Rockwood joke, if ever there was one, and I love it. So when I look at things like this, I'm trying to approach these things both in terms of drawing and in terms of painting, and I do a little bit of both with my traditional stuff. So I don't think I think a lot of people struggle with Photoshop. I used to teach Photoshop. It was one of my first teaching jobs, was teaching people how to make art in digital, because we wanted to at the time the goal was to get people to, for artists to understand what they could do with it. And I think as the as the technology has improved, it's actually freed up a lot of things, but it gives you infinite possibilities of what you can do. And that can sometimes be a problem. What is that famous quote? Too many choices makes tyrants of us all. I think that's a little bit of what goes on with Photoshop and with the color palette. If you don't know which colors you're looking for and which colors you're looking to bring to the table, you're going to try to use all of them. And that's why my paintings, when my paintings were starting out, they were terrible because I was using every single color and I didn't know how to use a limited palette. Photoshop takes that and it magnifies it by 1,000. And it's very... the thing with a lot of this stuff is it's very good at getting your hand out of there. Like making your own marks. Like there's a certain character to your marks. And what anything that's artificial intelligence does is it wants to take the speed off of that and sort of round it out. Average it. Make it a little bit less crazy. So you have to push the software, and the only way you're going to know how to do that is if you really know how to draw and paint and push media around. And so that's one of those things people run into. What's up, Bone Heap? How are you doing? Great to see you. Let me see. Overlord says, have you tried Rebel? The brush engine is really good. It's as close to painting as we've gotten digitally. Okay, so here's the thing. And that's a really good point. So I'm actually looking for stuff that is a little bit less complicated in how it does it. So if I want to do something that looks like a painting, I always want to make sure that I am doing something close to traditional. Because there's just something about it. I don't know how to describe it. And when I'm doing this, I'm really leaning on my drawing and my color theory, but I'm approaching it almost like you would if you were working in old school, like designer's gouache, and not watercolory like I do with my traditional stuff. And so that's been a big part of why I use the brushes I do. So the brush I'm using right now is actually a legacy Photoshop brush. See if that will work. I knew I couldn't get away with that. I was like, that's not going to work. There's no way that was going to work. But you have to try it sometimes. Got to try it sometimes. There we go. And see right there, I have this shape that's just a leftover shape. When I bucket filled it with a lighter color, it did something. I like it. Don't know where it's going, but I don't know. There's something funny happening there with that. Sorry for the all of the lag there with the zooms, but there's something happening there with that little light area that I like and I want to preserve. It's the kind of thing, and this is a backwards, I know it may seem like a backwards way of looking at it, but it's the kind of thing that back when people were drawing for the colorist, which I have little homages to that here. But when when artists were drawing thinking the colorist was going to have to fill that in with a color, they would leave lines like this, when they were doing shading, with, you guys probably remember from comics, and they'd have the little, hatch marks, and then inside of there would be almost a nice sort of color fill, and little things like that would give the comics their character. So it's a strange thing to be drawing in a way that almost calls to mind many people doing it in terms of the stages, but I love comics, and there's something really fun about that. Whoops. Cancel. What just happened? Every time I click on something, it's like, do you want to ban this person? No, I don't. Drawing digitally has reignited my interest in drawing. Very cool. I can experiment with design ideas that would ruin traditional drawings. Yes, absolutely right. And also those two start to play off of each other. I mean, the way I got into painting, I'll tell you in a second, was just nuts. Imperfections equal character, 100%. Apex Comics 3000. You too can join old school Walt Disney art department. Hail, indeed. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy to think about? Ooh, catching another live stream. Yes, you are, Alexander. How are you doing? It's good to see you, man. And so yeah, so looking at this kind of stuff, then I start to see, okay, there's some possibilities here. Like, where could this go? Where could that go? And that's what sort of frees me up. And I think thinking in terms of just black and white, and then thinking about color as another stage was not. Well, one, it wasn't very bright because I was going to be doing every single stage. It was like doing the piece 3 times. But also it's, while I enjoy drawing, and I started out with, drawing as being my primary means of expression, once I realized I was a painter, that was the thing that started to really feed the stuff I'm doing. And so, yeah, that's what you're seeing right here is me doing, approaching stuff the way I do. Like thinking about things like the way that the skin is going to move on the face, in a cartoony face, for that matter. And just thinking about how I want to have those highlights work. Where I want to put some of those. This will be fun. Let's turn this down a little bit. Putting in a little bit of a wash over there. Even if I lose the lines, it doesn't matter because it's, again, we're painting. And I do this all the time when I'm working on my traditional stuff. But let's move some washes over there so that now that black color is there and it gets knocked back to kind of like a more warm and red color, I can really go in and detail those lines up a little bit more. And then at the same time, get that impact of the color. See what I mean? There we go. Fun stuff, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not yet, by the way. What's up, Grey Wolf Graphics? How are you doing, brother? Good to see you. Wizard Face, you know it's true. You too can join. Yes, indeed, you can. Good. I'm making sure I'm caught up on all these things because you got to pay attention, Got to pay attention to the chat every now and again. Sometimes we're streaming and, we don't know whether to scratch our watch or wind our behind, especially, when it gets to 2 a.m. and we're doing hard art by the time we get to the end of the evening. I had to send a message to choke out on Instagram because I said, dude, you had me laughing so hard. I almost went into a coughing fit, man. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, man, to share this stuff with you guys because you guys are a part of the process. When I get the Nosfero proof, you guys are going to be seeing that Nosfero proof because you guys see every step of this. Every single step of the way. And, that was the fun thing about getting to share with you guys the Black Riding Hood cover. That was just a blast to do. Basically, I wanted to do some Black Riding Hood art for John. I didn't even know if he was going to be able to use it. John has just been incredibly supportive of Springball and all of the stuff I've been doing. There's just a bunch of people in Comicsgate who have been that way, and so the chance to, I was just doing it for that, that reason alone, and so that John wanted to include it in the box set and make a cover of it is fantastic. Really thrilled about that. Could not be happier. There we go. Let's see what we got. Shanth went Holly. I know. I went Hollywood Diva. Did I? How did I go Holly? Well, I will accept the rebuke. Let's see here. Yeah, I found an old drawing I did of an old lady holding a Tommy gun. Wow. So I'm coming up with a new character in my Vampire Squad project, Granny Gunner. That's awesome. That sounds great, Grey Wolf. And Apex Comics, fellow artist, is here. Says hi. Hi, Apex Comics. How are you doing? Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Your digital tablet is your practice painting? Nope. This is just my laptop and my trackpad. So this is just how I work digitally. So this is this will turn into a finish. This is the same way I did Black Riding Hood, and the cover I did for that was digital. This is how I'm going to do Springball, or how I've done Springball so far. A lot of pages are together right now on that book. It's just a question of refining them, and then I'm doing all the lettering, all of that stuff is going to be done by me. So I created a font, and that's my handwriting I did for the first book. Brought that into Illustrator so I can actually type in my handwriting that I lettered the first, pass on Springball in 2002 with. But it's a new story, a new city. All the things you like about Springball are going to be there, but a lot of stuff you didn't know you needed is going to be there too. So let's see where we are. What color eyes? Oh, yeah, that's right. He had green eyes. I always forget that. Sometimes. I'll be like, what color eyes? Yeah, Mrs. Ingetti has green eyes, so you'll see a lot of green eyes in my stuff. So I could think about that all day, how much movies impacted my selection of Spouse, because I grew up watching, and I never even had thought about that green eyes were a color. Sorry. One of those things. Because I had cousins with blue eyes. I had people with every other color eye. But for some reason, green, is it the rarest color? For some reason, I didn't know. Think about it until I saw Big Trouble in Little China. And maybe I just imprinted on the that I needed to look for a girl with dragon green eyes. I don't know. We could wonder all day, but man, I love that movie. Big Trouble in Little China was probably one of the most quoted movies in my house. There we go. Just kind of make that what I need right there. Get a little bit of a bigger brush. There we are. Yeah, this stuff is fun. I always try to be careful with feathering when I'm working in this style, because sometimes if you feather things too smooth, they don't it just doesn't catch the eye, if that makes sense. And it's not just a question of soft and hard shadows, as you know it is in painting. Comics are its own language, and you kind of have to have things be idiosyncratic sometimes to make it interesting. And I think one of the things painting taught me is the importance of not drawing the idiosyncrasies out of your work. And that can happen a lot with people. Oh my God, I missed a lot of chats here. What's up, JD Kirby? How are you doing? Mo Biggs is here. What's up, Mo Biggs? Granny Gunner, just making sure I have it. Cyberbully, there you go. Let's see. A. Riley Innit is here. Oh, thank Ganesh for Shanth. Well, thank God for you. I'll tell you that. Let me see here. Gunner serving up some more fresh baked homemade mayhem. Sometimes you got to do it, Mo Biggs. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yep, Apex Comics. She's a gangster. Oh, very cool. Oh, there's the story. Excellent. Let me see here. Yes, green eyes are rare, says Tammy. Yeah, I'd seen green eyes a lot of places, and I guess I thought they weren't rare once I did start noticing them, because I've seen some Spanish people with green eyes, some people from Spain. I think I may have seen some people who are Mexican with green eyes, and I know there actually are Indian people with green eyes. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, my brain broke. I was like, holy cow, I'm only half, and how did you get green eyes? But I guess it's a region of India. Green eyes are amazing. I have dark brown and nearly black eyes. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Yeah. I mean, they're not as dark as they could be, because I've seen some really dark eyes. My dad had blue eyes, but my mom had brown. My eyes are kind of hazel. That's a really cool color to paint, by the way. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello, hello. Stephen Rockwood, we saw a baby a few years ago who had bright green eyes and flaming red hair. Wow, that is wild. Yeah, see, that's the stuff that I look for when I'm looking for designing characters. It is most often my interest is what's going to look good aesthetically. And I'm always amazed when people try to do it for any other reason, design their characters. Because I just like to use every crayon I can get a hold of. But if, you know, doesn't mean I use every crayon when I work. So I look for characters that are character in the face and where I can push things. And I think Jack Kirby did that incredibly well. He really pushed character design in his comic book stuff incredibly well. Let's see what I want to do there. Don't want to lose that, so I'm going to make a note to myself of where I want that to go. All right, let's zoom out and see what we got here. Cool. So this is going to be a fun little area to push right there. So I'm going to make a note in the color there. And then that with a strange little shadow there could be cool. And then maybe I'll do some hatching in there when I get to that point. There we go. Oh, and I always have to be careful. I like sometimes for my hatching lines to be equidistant in space between them, but other times I like them to overlap. It just depends on what I'm going for. Let me see. I have blue eyes and red hair. It's a rare combination, I guess. Yeah, I've painted a lot of characters and illustrated a lot of characters with red hair and blue eyes, but the one I gravitate towards in Nosfero when it comes to Laurel is Laurel has, probably because of Mrs. Angetti, but Laurel has green eyes and reddish blonde hair. So Laurel has that. For those of you guys who back Nosfero, I should be getting the proof on the digital proof on Monday. We had a lot of back and forths about the paper stock and all that stuff, but we're getting there. Dad and all of his Smithkin I found records on all had blue eyes. Wow. Mom had brown eyes, so mine came out as more of a hazel color. There you go. As long as you keep your teeth white, that's right, you'll have a patriotic face. Indeed, that's the key. That is the key. No doubt. Mo Pigs. Cracking Tammy up. That's right. Red, white, and blue, folks. Red, white, and blue. Amen. I'm a bicentennial baby, so grew up with that. Well, that and my grandfather actually served in Korea. So yeah. And then I'm in a super patriotic town, very patriotic town. We have the oldest, or longest running continuous 4th of July parade in my town. So yeah, very proud of that. The lines in the downtown area of where I live are painted red, white, and blue when you go into our downtown. So yeah, we're big fans of the America, as they say. All right, so I've got that. Now let me see where I'm at. Maybe move that. It's a little too much. And then I'm going to grab this lighter color just so I can see where I'm going with those eyebrows. Down the stretch. There we are. Get a little bit in there. There we go. There we go. Let me see here. That's crazy. A continuous 4th of July parade. Yep. You'd think they'd eventually get tired and need a break. So this is how, Gary Martin's lines are awesome. He literally wrote the book on inking. Yeah, it is. We love it here. It's craziness. So, yeah, whether it rains, lightning, thunder, whatever's going on, usually they have the parade and everybody's out there in the rain. But if it's particularly dangerous or we get a hurricane or something coming through, they will still have a small group of people do that parade. They refuse to stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. Yeah, Gary's stuff I love Gary's stuff. Gary's great, man. I think that I'd love to see some people who work digitally have Gary do inks over their stuff. Like print out their stuff in blue line and have Gary do traditional inks on it. Because the way Gary turns a pen is chef's kiss, man. That stuff's awesome. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, he's the ink master. He is. Where is it? Yep, hang on a second. Hang on a second, guys, because this is Comics and Curios inside the studio, so sometimes I forget. Hang on a second, guys. Hopefully I won't run into everything when I get up, but highly likely. Woo! Fingers crossed. Oh! Down goes Sean. So, let me see here. So, this right here is... Let me turn off the screen share. This right here is The Art of Comic Book Inking by Gary Martin with Steve Rude. And the late Dave Stevens did inks in here. Carl Story, who was the first person I met at Gaijin Studios. Bill Stout, Scott Williams, all these people worked on the book. And it is a great book. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. And Gary goes over everything, from start to finish and shows, everything from an introduction to the various tools and all of that stuff. Gary is the man. And he's hilarious too. Gary is, I'm sure you guys know this, but he's just, he goes over everything about all the different things you can run into inking, all of the difficulties. And so this book I got when I was in college, and, I just thought this book is awesome. Just an incredible, incredible book. So, yeah. And then my brother Rocky, for those of you guys who follow his channel, let me see. Is this the right one? No, that's not it. Is it this one? There we go. Just got to make sure I've got the right one. But, yeah, I heard Steve Rude is more polite than one might imagine. Yes. Yeah, I've heard. I know it was Mike and him had their moments. But, I always say this is when two longtime, collaborators and friends, have their moments. And artists, you never know what's going on with people. Like people have really bad or off days, but when two people who are friends, are having tension, sometimes it's good to sort of just let them sort it out and, step back and let them deal if they need to. Because I think sometimes, certainly in certain things, I think more chefs don't always help the situation. And, nothing like the ministry of silence when someone has to talk or is going through something. I can tell you that's something I've been experiencing. Something I've been experiencing a lot lately because, you have friends going through stuff sometimes, and they just need someone to just listen to them when they've got, a lot happening. And so, for me, when I go out for a walk and I check out, the place I go hiking, it's very much about about being present and just taking everything in and enjoying the little sounds that happen in the silence, so to speak. You know, yeah, very true. Check out his space. Sorry, my glasses. Lost in Space robot illustration. Yeah, that's a beautiful one. What was the one he did that I was blown away by? There was I mean, there were many, but shoot. Oh, it's gonna come to me. He did an illustration of somebody who is really hard to draw, and obviously it was masterful, but he did something in ink that was beautiful. He did a great Bride of Frankenstein, beautiful Bride of Frankenstein. Loved his Bride of Frankenstein. But there was something else he did. I got to remember what the one was that really dropped me. It wasn't, I mean, Audrey Hepburn's hard, but it wasn't. I think it was Grace Kelly. I bet money it was Grace Kelly he did an illustration of, but it was beautiful, man. Mobig says, yeah, sometimes all people need is encouragement. That's why when Rocky seems to be giving up on streaming, I relentlessly cyberbully him until he continues. Mobigs, we know that's what has to be done. I had to bully him on to streaming, and he's doing great now. Rocky is... So for those of you guys who don't know, my friend Rocky recently, probably not that recently, maybe a year or so ago, got on YouTube. I met him freshman year. He was, him and my other brother Arvin were my comic book buddies. And he actually went to the same high school as Lauren's cousin in Huntsville, Alabama. Wild how these things... Tell you what, man. God's plan. That's all I can think. And... But he, I've known him forever, and I got him streaming, and it's so great because he's got such a great camera setup. He puts so much thought into it. He's, getting back into doing traditional media stuff. He's got a great camera for showing that stuff. So give his channel a look if you have not seen it yet. It's really great stuff. I mean, that guy and I have known each other for so long. Like, we've watched our kids grow up together. Like, we both have kids now in college, and like our kids, our oldest children are older than we were when we met. Oh, where does the time go? Yes, indeed. So yes, ad broadcast. Subscribe to Rocky Fun channel. Absolutely. If you love comics, he loves that stuff. I'll probably post a copy of my Granny Gunner page on X later today. Very cool. Yes, Steve Root can be a jerk, but he means well. His art is great. Yeah. I mean... I remember thinking about that too, where it's like, you don't look old. Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm dying to know how old you think I am, Mikey Madness. That would be fascinating. Hail Sean, Hail Alpha channel member. It's great to see you, brother. How are you doing on this fine Sunday? I hope it's a great one for you, man. I hope you're having a great one. We're all hanging in there here at the Ingetti household. And, yeah, keeping our head above water, as they used to say on the Jeffersons. One of the many shows I grew up on. I grew up on the Jeffersons. I grew up on Good Times. I think I actually said Jeffersons where I meant to say Good Times, by the way. But the Good Times, Keeping Your Head Above Water. And then many a show. And if you haven't watched the Jeffersons in a while, holy cow. That show is hilarious and the kind of show we need more of. I would say people need to go back to making shows like that. It was wild. Cancel. I'd say you look 52. Good. That's a good guess. I'll be 50 in September. So you're close. I don't look a day over 52. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I'm 49. So I've been there. Yes. Good to see you, Alpha Channel. Very good to see you, man. Yeah, man. I tell you what. Well, it's certainly not from clean living when I was a kid that got me here. I can tell you that much. Grace of God, more like it. Let me see here. And this is the stuff I love, man. I love showing this stuff to you guys because for me, I should mention that whole thing. September 2nd, that's right, Atlas Shrug Day. You know, Tammy. You know. Yeah. Yeah, you were close. You were close, Mikey. Wheezy fix it. Oh, yes. Wheezy fix him a plate. There was this line we were dying laughing about where George is sitting at the table with Wheezy at the end of the show. I think it was while the credits were playing. And their son is there, and he's sitting at the table. Why am I blanking on their son's name? George, Wheezy, and... How am I blanking on their son's name? Someone in the chat, get me George and Wheezy's son's name. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. And he goes, hey, the son looks over at George and goes, Dad, can I ask you a question? And yeah, Kid Dynamite. Lionel, thank you. Lionel, Leighton's got it. Lionel, their son Lionel. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. And Lionel looks at them and he goes, see, look at this. We've got class in the chat. Yes, indeed, Mo Biggs. Kid Dynamite. Yes, indeed. JJ Walker, man. Lionel, I knew I had some classy people here. And Lionel looks at him and goes, Dad, can I ask you a question? Did y'all plan on me or was I a mistake? And George looks at him and goes, both. It kills me every time, man. Yeah, because it's a TV show from 40 years ago. That's why you can't remember. Lionel was thinking Lamont. That's Sanford and Son. Yeah, there were a lot of like really cool names that we should probably bring back. I think Lionel's a great name, man. That's a great name. Yeah, oh man. I keep thinking of Lionel Trains and Lionel Toy Store. Did any of you guys have a Lionel Toy Store near you guys where they had the kangaroo as their logo? We had a Lionel Lionel Play World is what I think it was called, and their slogan was "Turns a frown upside down," with a kangaroo. And yeah, used to have that at Northgate Mall in Chattanooga. That was a big deal. I don't know if any of you guys remember those stores like that, but man, I remember that stuff because obviously Lionel Trains and all of that stuff. So let me see here. Cancel. Why does it keep doing that? Yes, Playworld. You knew it. Leighton knows. Yep, Lamont was a cool name. It is a cool name, man. It's a cool name, especially from Shadow. It's great. You worked there as a teen once. Wow. Any show produced by Norman Lear was, yeah, fantastic. Gosh, there was some great stuff out there. Stuff that made you laugh at the end of the day, and stuff that where there was this, I don't know how to put it. It was real without being cynical. And that's something that is really important to me, at least with art and entertainment. I like stuff that isn't. I don't know. I get kind of annoyed when entertainment is there's no heart in it. You got to have heart in the stuff. You know, you really got to have heart in your stuff. And Springball has heart in it because I don't want to do it otherwise. It's a lot of work to draw something if you're not passionate about it and if you don't like your characters. And I don't even mean, when I say characters, I don't mean you like your characters in the way to where you're like, this is my character and it's important. I mean, you got to kind of know your characters and what they would do in a situation, and you got to like what they do and how they conduct themselves. I was watching a movie before this stream that I haven't watched in a while. Yeah, it was a brilliant writer. 100% a brilliant writer. Yeah, both you guys know it's true, right? And I was watching Hard Boiled, directed by John Woo. I haven't watched it in forever. And it was on the Criterion channel streaming, and I just decided to put it on. It was actually one of the first movies that Rocky and I watched together when we met in college. And it was before John Woo had done Hard Target, or maybe it was, no, I think it was after John Woo had done Hard Target, because I couldn't get it in Chattanooga. And then I ordered it letterboxed, and I was excited because I could see all the shots. And I watched it, and I was watching with Mrs. Engetti, and the human moments between the characters with this all-out action story about redemption and making mistakes, and then sweet character relationships behind all the different characters of the police force, the undercover cop, even character in the villains. There's a character in Hard Boiled that I believe to this day is an influence for Anton Sugar in No Country for Old Men. He's got to be an influence for Anton Sugar. He's got, at one point he gets an eye patch over his eye, but he's sort of like one of the big bad guys. And when but he will not kill innocent people, and he's like the Terminator with a conscience. Really great character. There were some great old shows in the 70s, says Tiny Effort. Great to have you here, man. Be certain, but what I really miss are Saturday morning cartoons. Agreed. Yeah. I miss a lot of that sort of stuff because it's why I think it's important to do this show on the regular on Sundays, and I think it's great. I was doing shows when I had a minute because I was just trying to balance things. I was switching from being a college professor after 20 years, and your brain is just wired for certain routines, and you have to build new routines. And for me, having this show be at a regular time is really important to the experience so that you guys know where we are, because it becomes something that, I don't know, just becomes something to enjoy and chill out to. And I want to share a little bit of art with you guys. I want to share my process with you guys. I want you guys to be able to watch me noodle on occasion, which I love to do. And I'll do that whenever I'm streaming and talking. Sometimes I'll get sucked into noodling because you know how it goes. You know how it goes, guys. There we go. Having some fun with it. Art has been such an amazing thing in my life, and I like to share it with people. And teaching was and probably still is somewhere in the recesses of my mind, was one of my favorite things in the world to do, because I loved helping people and watching people get better at their work. And I also loved telling people things that either people didn't know to tell them or people just wouldn't tell them. And unfortunately it became more of the former than the latter when I was towards the end of my teaching career. It was and there were some teachers who were kind of old school in that way. They were like, you have to figure it out. I'm not, or middle school, we'll say, in a weird way. Or there was a generation of teachers where everything was demo. Everything was, let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how this works. This needs to be fixed. Move this line here. And they drew on your drawings, which is how you actually learn. Then there was a middle generation of teachers who were like, you should already be good if you're here. So I tell you to fix it, fix it. But I think a little bit of that was them not knowing maybe how to draw as well as they should. And then at this point, it's just conversation and critique. And people are just talking in very few demos. Let me see. You fish-eyed fool. There you go. Look at all the fun we're having here in the chat. Let me see here. You gotta love Grady. Yeah, Grady is the man. You have it. You guys are cracking each other up. Your streams are the most educational out of all CG. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What is the point of paying them then? I agreed. Yep, I said the same thing. But it gets even funnier than that, because towards the end of my time as a teacher, the students were actually trying to silence professors and have them so that they were the only ones talking. And I remember saying to a class full of students, and I think it hopefully got them to think, but I said, just so you guys know, if you guys want to do my job, I'm still going to get paid for it, but you should actually not be thrilled that you're listening to a bunch of people with a high school diploma teach you about art. You can get that for free online. You don't need to go to college for that. Very strange. Very strange. But that's, I don't know why that's appealing. When I was, part of the reason why my stuff improved and I got to the point that I've gotten to is I knew my stuff needed to improve, and I knew that people knew more than me, and I wanted to find those people and get their feedback. And now that I'm at this point, passing it on is something that is really something that will only benefit people. It doesn't benefit me to pass it on because I already know how to do this stuff, but I think it is important to do. That loud alpha channel's cracking up. I can see that in your painting now too. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, what are we missing? Oh, last week, look at your page layouts was cool. I liked your use of tones and shapes to flesh out the panels. Oh, thank you very much. And I can see that in your painting now too. 100%. So thank you for bringing that up, Leighton, because this is a really good point you just made, and I want to see if I can follow up on that. So when people talk to me about the style I take when I'm doing digital versus traditional, and the thing I used to always say to my students when I was teaching was, if someone asks you, do you do digital or traditional? Your answer should always be yes. You do both. You got to know how those things work. And when you see my stuff in its sketchy phase, where the heck is it? Of course, when I go to reach for it, right, then it won't be there. If you see my stuff in its sketchy phase when I'm starting my layout page phase, see if I move over here if it's a little easier for me to see the camera. There you go. You can clearly see all of the kind of scribbly shape making that I do that happens in this stuff. And so even when you look at a very rough layout page I did for this one shot I was trying to get right, this is how it starts. And if you look at this, can you guys see the same shape language happening? Hey, what's up, Mark's Music Obsession? How are you doing, brother? It is great to see you, man. Happy Sunday. My brother, Mark's Music Obsession. But if you look at this, and you look at the shapes that are happening in it, then look over at the digital, you can absolutely see that it's the same. It's the hand. It's the hand that's doing it. You know, you learn how to spot work based on certain things, and it's refining your hand and getting your hand to the point where it's more comfortable is so important. Sean loves to draw snakes. No, you know I don't, Steven. It was crazy. Yeah, I'm glad you got this one too, Mark. It's great to see you. Yeah, it gets right to the point. You know, and it's, I can't overstate this, but that's not very rough. It feels rough, you know. It's how do I put it? One of the most important things to get people to overcome that very few people seem to notice in education these days is why people are tense and anxious when they approach their artwork, and how to get rid of that. Like how to get that out of their way of experiencing things. Because being tense when you make work is never a good idea. It's going to make the work too noodly. It's going to make, not even noodly, what's the word I'm looking for? The work isn't going to hold. It's not going to be playful. And I think it's important. Yeah, rough is relative. Leighton's keeping me real here. I so totally agree that art must have a spirit and a soul. Unsurprisingly, I'm not a fan of AI. You know what's funny is that I said this to my wife because I've been playing around with AI, and I've come to the realization that AI is the most AI art, as it's called. And this is not a knock. This is something really important. AI is the most sophisticated generator of clip art in history. What it makes is clip art. And it just goes through the motions. And clip art was a thing for a while, and they hired artists to do it. But it's, unless you plug in some other artist style, and then it's still doing the clip art version of that style, it doesn't have the ability to bring that kind of verve and that kind of craziness to it. Do you get what I mean? And I was doing some stuff to try to get a clip art feel on something I'm doing just for fun. And I have to go in and rework it. Maybe I'll show that to you guys in a little bit. Just let me know. I went back into the stuff, and I found myself having to redraw just so many sections of it because of that, of the way it approaches line and the way it approaches different things. And in some ways it's great. In other ways, you know, it's interesting, like as a starting point, but I just started thinking to myself, there's no way someone who doesn't really know how to do work in a sophisticated fashion is going to be able to use this. It's just going to swallow people whole. But so is Photoshop. Photoshop uses artificial intelligence too, and it's the same problem. You know, I mean, airbrush art wasn't the problem. It was the tool being, you know, not being used for what it should be used for. Airbrushes are incredible if you know how to use them. Kind of playing around a little bit with like a potential core shadow there. You can see when you use a soft brush, one of the things that you're going to run into, and again, this is another AI art relevant sort of thing, and this is why people ran into trouble with Photoshop. Photoshop was why it's called Photoshop, was one of the best photo editing tools in history. It still is. And it was so much easier to use than the airbrush. And let me see. Okay, I see what I'm doing there. And so I like to use it for things, but you have to build off of it. You have to do something with it. And I think AI is a really great tool if you're a painter and you know how to draw and you know how to move things around. But you have to make some serious changes. AI should be 100% agree. AI should be set to researching cancer cures and kept. Yeah, exactly. It's going to do things like that. It's probably going to help with solving, you know, complicated. It already is solving complicated DNA stuff to be able to treat, you know, hereditary diseases and all sorts of things like that. I think of it I think of it that way, but never thought of it that way. I know what you mean, right? It's clip art. Like if you don't know what clip art is, you know, the filler art that people would grab and you see it online, right? Actually, you guys probably know because it's everywhere. If you're a graphic designer and you wanted to put some artwork in and you don't know how to draw and you don't know how to do this, you're going to grab clip art, right? And if you're a graphic designer and you know how to draw, you're going to figure out how to draw the thing, or you might be able to take the clip art and do something to it and build off of it. But either way, it's the eye that's going to make it work. And it's the hand skills. Yeah, clip art equals 2D assets. Well said. 100% what it is, Mo Biggs. You got it. Mike's Madness. Shane had a great pitch about Batman training Superman under a red sun. Wow, I would love to see that, especially from Shane. Maybe someday. Yeah, you never know, man. Life is a wild thing, but yeah, Shane's very creative. I mean, everybody in Comicsgate, because we're doing our own stuff, we're making our own shows, we're making our own books, and we're creating this sort of stuff. It's been really life affirming to get to hang out with people who just use their imagination all day long. And it's doing it with you guys and your support. God bless you, Mark's Music Obsession, by the way. Doing it for you guys and with your support is one of the things that makes this so incredible, this place that we're in. And guys, I have Springball pinned to the top of the chat. If you have not backed Springball yet, this is going to be a page in that book. Do get out there and back it. If you back Nosfero, and you're waiting on that, big news from the stream today is we locked the paper stock because it's a totally new printer I'm using, so I've had to start from scratch. I had to send them a hard copy of the book to be sure, all this stuff. Finally, they're going to get me the digital proof, and then we're going to be doing the physical proof, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. And I cannot wait. That blue monster reminds me of, just jumped. First episode of Johnny Quest, the Energy Monster. Do I remember that? I feel like I do. Let me see here. Great Quick and Dirty Memes had to generate a story. Yep, to get something approaching workable. Went through a dozen revisions, pointing specific elements, suggesting changes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's with all of this stuff. I remember my mentor, Brian Stelfreeze, told me something about Photoshop I've never forgotten. He goes, "We're in a situation now that the most important thing to understand is that the technology has continued to improve and improve and improve. The thing that hasn't is the knowledge." And what I want to do with Bare Knuckle Art School is start having a place where the knowledge is there, because it's fun to go on streams, and obviously I'm doing it right now, and show people like how I do my paintings, and that's great. But there's a huge gap right now in terms of education that art schools aren't really filling, and that needs to be. It's a part of a tradition we have, and people who are good teachers and who can actually handle being on YouTube, which is a whole nother animal. I mean, I can tell you this. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of you see a lot of artists on YouTube, but there's quite a few amazing artists who are not on YouTube because we tend to be in the studio and hanging out. But I think it might be the case that I think there's a lot of people that if a lot of college classrooms were live streamed, I think a lot less people would go into certain classes because they'd go, is that all that's happening there? But my classes were fun and awesome, and I thought, do I have the energy to try that out in YouTube land? And I thought, you only live once. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm going to probably move all of that stuff. But right now, what's fun is getting to play with the line work. And that's the other thing, too, I like to do. I like to shift things over when I'm working on it. So if I can get the energy and then shift it and make it do something kind of crazy, I'll do it. So all of that stuff that you see me using right here, I want to compress it over. And but right now, I want to make sure I can make the lines have that sense of play. And so if I try to, lock it down too much, I'm not getting the benefit out of this. Almost there's a sculptural quality to when I work in Photoshop too, because I do like to compress things. But that's the joy of doing all this on a trackpad on a laptop, is that okay, it's not great in terms of this, but I can work in bed, which I know is a terrible, terrible habit, but I still do it. Can't stop myself. You know how it is. You guys know how it is. I know a lot of you guys are workaholics too. So, and thank you, by the way. And thank you guys for liking the stream. Make sure you do if you haven't yet. Thank you for backing the books. Thank you for being channel members. Welcome, Leg Kick One. It is great to have you as a channel member. I always think of you as a channel member, which is sort of funny because I've known you for so long. So it's great to have you here. Oh, we've got Mr. Monkey Boy is here. Great to see you. Let me see here. The station AI being a god with amnesia was its idea. Oh, very cool. Nice. Oh, hold on a second here. Let me go back. After having it generate about 2 basic outlines, I selected 3, liked it, and told it to layer them into a new single plot, but occasionally it would throw me a curveball. There you go. Yeah. There's people that brag about going to art school, and you can't tell by... Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That reminds me of a quote of what I used to say to my students that you'll appreciate. Mikey, that is right on point. My students once asked me what an art school degree gives you. And I remember I finally came up with an answer and started telling them this. Your diploma says, I am someone who was given great opportunity. Your portfolio says, and this is what I did with it. So if you're spending money to go to art school and your portfolio doesn't look drastically better than when you started. I mean, your work from when you came in as a freshman to the end of freshman year should be drastically different. I mean, it should just be, wow, I've learned so much. Sophomore year, junior year, it should be, not all the jumps should be as big, but you should see big jumps every year and a half. And if you've actually gotten worse at drawing, you don't know how to do more stuff in terms of representational work and all of that stuff, you're just setting your money on fire because a diploma ain't going to give you anything. It's this portfolio that does it. Another Demented Comics idea, the doctors who remove skin. Oh, yikes, lost weight. I wonder if they could sell that. Oh my God, you're scaring me. You guys are killing me. Like PTB, yeah, no doubt. Yep. I mean, who cares, right? It's like when someone says, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know when it happened, but at a certain point, there were certain institutions where it got to be like saying, when you said you had a diploma there, the diploma was almost like saying, well, my mom and dad loved my singing. It was like American Idol. Really weird. Yeah, it's craziness. Looks like me. There you go. That's the key. Let me see here. Apex Comic. There was a woman in... My glass just fell here. There was a woman in Murray County, Georgia, who was so huge... Oh, my God. I can't hold it to the couch. That's right. You're from Tennessee. That's right. Yeah. Oh, I think I may have heard that story. Art Institute pushes you to too fast. It was more of one long test as... opposed to learning. Yeah, so how people learn, what I'll never fully understand, is how people learn. We know a lot about the teaching of art, and we know a lot about how the human brain learns. Like there's been actual research, and at a certain point, we ignored all of the things we learned about learning, and we started bringing in massive bureaucratic offices of people who know how to take money and make more paperwork, basically. And the problem is when it comes to people who do things versus people who try to administrate things, which ideally they would be serving the people who actually do the work. The problem is that they have infinite amount of time to make more paperwork for you, and you're so busy working that you don't have time to stop it from happening. And that's if you look at the college administrative growth in colleges, that's 100% responsible for the tuition increases, for everything. College was way more affordable, and the quality of education has gone down. And the same thing happened with when they started the Department of Education and all of those crazy initiatives. And they pitched a narrative that this was going to improve things, and now we know it doesn't, and it's the same thing. I love the crazy lean on that face. I'm going to have to fix that. But I like the vibe of it. I don't know how to describe it. There's something going on there that I like. Let's see if this works. It's just to put a little bit of a value in there. There we go. Bob Ross would have said we there, so I've got to say we there. Because Bob's the man. Okay, here we go. And a little bit of that in there. It doesn't matter if it's all perfectly filled. It's just a question of me trying to get the right feel for the mark making, because, you have so much freedom to edit things a bit, but getting that energy into it and getting that feel into it is really important to do, especially when you're doing everything at once. It's like pushing paint around. And so there you go. That said, looking back, animation, sorry, my glasses just fell here. Looking back, animation art school was the best decision of my life. There you go. Yeah, good. Glad to hear it, Alpha Channel. It's always good when you can hear that. It would say that. You can always make art just for the sake of making art, money aside, 100%. That's got to be used in the story. You guys are talking story. I love it. I like watching Bob Ross. He's great. Yeah, he's undefeated on YouTube, too. Yeah, I'm so happy with all of the CG. This is awesome. Yeah, CG is... I love it here. I've had such a blast and met some great people. Timmy Mello. Happy Sunday, man. It's great to see you, brother artist. Love it, man. Love it. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Sean, I have a visitor here today. Okay, from Tennessee. No kidding. Lives in a town called Estill Springs, which is near Tullahoma. Interesting. Oh, no. I gotta look that up. Hang on. I gotta look that up. Let me see here. It is. I feel like I'm like thinking of things like, is it near Callaway Gardens? I'm like, no, that's not the right state, I don't think. But let me just double check. Estill Springs, where's the map? I have to know. Chester Springs, Estill Springs. Just double check here. Must be. Whoops. Try that one more time. Oh, okay. Let me see here. So off of 24. Oh, okay, so right, central Tennessee, more or less. Well, eastern. No, it's much more eastern. It's east of Nashville. So really close to me. That's like a. Oh man, that's not even. That's closer than Murfreesboro. Oh yeah, that is close to me. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm just south of there. What's up, Michelle Bowers? How are you doing? It's great to see you. Yeah, about an hour and a half maybe from Nashville. Holy cow. Like, it's almost like it goes south and west where Chattanooga goes more east. I mean, it's still going on a southeastern trajectory, but that's crazy. Would there be any interest in doing some shows about individual illustrators, Muka, Beardsley, Patrick Nagel, mix it up? What you think? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want to do more of that on this show. Definitely want to do that. Let me see here. Awesome. And actually, speaking of, one of the things that I talked about last week that I wanted to talk about a little bit this week. Let me see if I can move this for a second. I mean, guys, you guys know how it is. Let's do this. We're going to take a second here to look at something fun here. Let's see here. So let me do this. I feel bad because I'm about to name this overlay in my overlay window, this one, in honor of poor Zaid. Zaid, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my layer naming shortcomings. They are pronounced. They are pronounced. Okay, so let me turn that off. And then, cool, we got this. So if any of you guys were here last week, I started talking about this man, and I could not find one of the books I was looking for. American realist painter James Bama. Did Doc Savage, did the Aurora Monster Model Kit boxes, all this incredible stuff. And this guy, we lost him a couple of years ago. He lived to a ripe old age, but when you lose these giants, it's rough. And I was talking to Beowulf about these paintings that he does, but come on now, look at this. How good. Let me move this down just a little bit here. Actually, maybe I'll move it up. Sorry if I hit the speaker there, guys. Look at this stuff. I mean, how good is this stuff? Just incredible. He also happened to do, I think, 2 paintings of one of my favorite actors, Wes Studi, who you may know from Last of the Mohicans. But this guy just captured people in paint. There it is. You guys remember Last of the Mohicans? Wes Studi and Last of the Mohicans? Look at this. How great is that painting? Isn't that is so good, man. And that's another aspect of art school that my studio is and what we're going to be doing on this channel. Or I should say what learning art should be. And this is, look at this, man. Oh, craziness. Look at that. That is just a beautiful portrait. Let's see if I can get you guys a view without a ring light on it. There we go. You guys can see that detail. Isn't that, I mean, that is incredible. That's just some incredible stuff right there. You know, I mean, it's like, let me see here if I can do this. So yeah, oh, there we go. That's better. If I just arc the book a little bit. Isn't that, yeah, the Last of the Mohicans soundtrack is one of my all-time favorites. It's the soundtrack I think about when I'm illustrating Nosfero, because I want that kind of romantic adventure story, and soon Flintlocks will be a part of it. Love this painting. What a great painting. Really incredible. I've seen Beowulf's art. He really is impressive as an artist. Oh, shoot, just jumped. And should show his art more. Agreed. Yeah, Beowulf is great, man. And we were talking about various work, and I don't know if he's a fan of realist stuff, but anybody, I don't understand how anybody could not be into James Bama's stuff. You know, this was the one I was trying to show Beowulf the other day when I was talking about just crazy detail. Look at this, guys. Now I can get you guys closer. Look at this. That's what I wanted to show Beowulf. If you guys see him around, tell him to check out this stream, because this part of the stream in particular. Look at how incredible this is. The attention to, it's not just that this guy's wearing overalls, he's wearing these overalls. And how, like, the shirt that he's been wearing and the wall behind him, the things that they've seen. Amen. Infamous Mr. Curse for the win. I love that. Love that. You're absolutely right. Amen. Yeah, and hopefully we do. 100%. Timmy Mello, this is madness. You're absolutely right. Madness. Madness. Look at the wall, though. Look at the texture on the wall, for God's sake. You know what's funny? I wonder if Ethan would like this stuff. His more fine art stuff where he's doing portraits, because there's an attention to detail that I think that Ethan might enjoy seeing. I don't know why, because it's paint, but I think he might like it. And but I don't know. But I mean, just look at that. So now, here is a black and white tonal study, because he actually, unlike what people have been taught, he actually gets to know his models. So he actually gets to know people. When you have a conversation with somebody, you're going to get to see, it's going to get into the painting. You're going to get to know them a little bit better. But look at that. This is incredible. Oh, he's streaming right now. Gotcha. Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, I know he would. I absolutely know he would. Yeah, he's streaming right now. That's right. I'll have to, at some point I'll have to catch this to him. But look at that. Look at how great that is. When I've done trailers and for Ethan, and he's sent me some of his high-res stuff, there have been a few portraits that actually, now that I think back on it, remind me about what I like about James Bama's stuff. Really getting into the wrinkles, really getting all of that that character into his stuff. Yeah, I think he might like this. I don't know that for certain, but I think he might. Who's to say? Look at the hands. Man, those are absolutely outstanding. Look at that face is fantastic. Look at this stuff. Ridiculous. So good. See if I can get a good angle on it here. I mean, look at that. It is very hard to do detail and not lose the form of the face, so to speak. You know, like if you do too much detail, you don't lose, or you can lose the overall. Sorry for the noise here. Sorry for the racket, guys. You can lose the overall look of the face, and so that's something for me that is just mind-blowing. So bear in mind, okay, so he's doing all of this stuff. I could stop on every page of this. How beautiful is that? Love how he painted the flag. Such a beautiful job with it. Because we know he can do portraits, but I mean, my God. Then look at this. Look at how he captures the snow and the snowfall here. This is the Midwest. This is the West. He captures it. Let me see where this was. Wyoming. So if those of you guys who have friends or family or people in Wyoming, that's where James Bama went to paint. He went there to paint, and he stayed because he saw everything he needed subject matter wise there. I mean, my gosh, look at this. These people, there's so much life in it. He's capturing the life of them. And it's fantastic stuff. Let me see if I can find... Oh, here you go. Here's a likeness for you. How many of you guys know what movie this is from? I'm guessing there's going to be a few of you. Who have we got here? Light up the chat. I know you guys know. One of our greats. Look at that. Yeah, I think that was a study, Leighton. That was a study. I know that's horrifying, but here you go. Here's the man. And what a movie, too. And what a great thing to get, to get him to do. It's just great. I wonder who made that call. And the horse is astounding. Jay Bama says Apex Comics. You're right. I never thought of... before I figured out he was from Alabama, yeah. Yes, that guy in the spaghetti sauce. There you go. You got it. Yeah, and a great film. A great, great film. But look at this, guys. Let me see. I hate when I can't get an angle because of this ring light. Let's see here. There we go. Look at all of that. Just incredible. I know, Mikey, I was thinking the exact same thing. So, yeah, Paul Newman as Butch Cassidy. And then, let's see if we get to... I mean, there's so much in here. So much in here. This is my favorite animal right here. I love the bison. Yes, the grain in the logs is crazy. You're absolutely right. So, yes, see, Leighton and Shane and I, we all appreciate the wood grain. See? Infamous was on it. He was on it like that. Excuse me. That wood grain. You guys know. Damn. Yes. But this, to me, is America. This is our elephant. This is our rhinoceros. This is the animal that, to me, it's like you've got the bald eagle, you've got this, you got the bison, the American bison. There's just certain animals that speak to this country, and I love bison. I think they are. See, you guys know. I think I see why these two work so well. They know. If you know what bison fur looks like when snowfall is on it, you know this to be true. And that's what's so great about it. And this is stuff you can only get from observation. You've got to do some observation. I do a lot of different things when I'm working. I use a lot of different techniques. I use sometimes I'll use like an action figure for lighting reference, but whenever it comes to a particular female figure, particularly if it's a nude female figure or something like that, I'm going to always try to get photo reference, because even if I could draw it out of my head, there's little things that lighting will do that you're not going to come up with on your own, and it just doesn't... It feels like you drew a stock figure that you have, a superhero stock figure, and I think that... And that's... You have to have it. I have mine. Everybody has theirs. But it feels like it. It feels like a colored in... It feels like a colored in system, and it doesn't feel like the way that light hits form. And that's the thing that Frazetta did so well, even though people somehow believe that he didn't use photo reference, as his granddaughter has said, and as I thought was obvious looking at it. Of course he used photo reference. It's not why his stuff was great. He painted a ton out of his head. But he knew that to use... And he even painted from other paintings too, by the way. But here's another beautiful, beautiful painting. Look at that. Okay, we were talking wood grain. You know Stephen Rockwood. Oh, I have something I'm gonna show you guys in a sec that I'm playing around with that'll make you put a smile on your face. But look at this old gnarled wood. My favorite kind of tree. My favorite kind of tree in the world is and now I'm going to blank on it because I just tried to think of it. Bristlecone pine. I don't know if you guys have ever seen bristlecone pine trees, but they're the oldest living trees that we have here in the States. And they have this very gnarled, twisted quality to them. You can find them a lot on the West Coast. I will try to illustrate bristlecone pine-like texture on all of the trees that I paint. They're just beautiful. As Bob Ross would say, have a conversation with a tree. Make friends with a tree. Bob knew what he was talking about. Bob knew. So lots of his, again, let's talk about these horses. I don't know if any of you guys are horse people or people of horse, whatever you call yourselves. But James Bama's one of those guys that is capturing the likeness of these horses. He's not just painting a stock horse. He's painting, the likeness in there. And that's what makes it great. I mean, don't even get me started on things like this wagon. He had a huge career as an illustrator. Oh gosh, look at this. Now this, guys, is awesome. Look at the wood texture and the wood texture with the graffiti and color painted on it that he does so well. How cool is that? It's just incredible, man. I mean, the paint, the weathered paint that's coming off, how it's been applied by a spray can, everything in these paintings. I mean, this is nuts. Incredible. And again, we were talking about this before, Leighton, but yeah, probably a study or a sketch. I mean, he could probably sell it as a finish, but yeah, it's like a Yellowstone episode. You're absolutely right. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Bob Dylan Cowboy. You guys know. You guys know. All right, let me see if I can get to more snow. I just want to see if there's what there is in the back of this book. There's tons of great stuff in this book. Okay, so I don't have any of his other stuff in the book, so I was thinking it might have some of his... oh, actually, you know what? I take it back. It does have some. Here you go. So here are some of his illustrations. His war artwork. His war illustrations. And here's some of his war/pulp illustrations. And then he's also just got a short section for those of you guys who know them well. His Doc Savage cover art, which is incredibly famous. And everybody thinks of Doc Savage as at least either that way or the way that, what's the guy's name? Is it William Baumgartner? Or I forget what the name of the artist was. But there's another artist that's famous for his Doc Savage stuff, his Doc Savagery. And it's really great. Let me see if I can bend this arm here. There we go. And then I can put these back up. These layout pages. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's where all of the stuff happens. And that's where when we do stuff on this channel and I'm doing the art stuff, yeah, the dementias almost got to him that time. It's true. Steven, it's true. It's true. So when I'm working on the stuff that I'm doing, on this stuff and digital stuff, I wanted to come up with a really cool, fun sort of parody, not even a parody, but just like a fun little take on the draw the pirate, draw the little mouse, draw the turtle thing. And I've always loved that the what is it called? The art instruction school, but there was a name for it, or the famous artist course, or that kind of thing, through the mail course. And I wanted to do a little nod to that to help advertise the stuff we're doing. And so yeah, so this is something I've been working on where this is a great part of the conversation on AI. I did some sketches, loose sketches of what I wanted, but like got the composition. You guys saw them on previous streams. And then I brought them into AI. I said, try to make this into something, which it had its issues with it because they were loose sketches. And then I went, try to make this into something that's black and white. And I went back and forth with it. And I finally got something I could start off of. And then what I ended up having to do is, and what I'm in the process of doing is trying to rework it so I could make my own version of that. That's just a fun little thing to do. And so let me show you guys what that looks like. There we go. So this is one of the things that I've been working on. And so, yeah, this is my my take on the, you can draw your favorite. So there you go, Stephen Rockwood. This is for you. I have much more to do. Much more work to do on this. But yeah, this is, this is going to be a really funny sort of thing. Maybe I'll make a print of it or something for the Fans Fest or something. That would be really funny. But I'm basically just going in and taking these things and like, having to figure out, okay, well, what kind of shirt do I want to draw on this guy? And I'm starting with this like really kind of generic sort of thing, and then I'll go in and I'll work into it and try to figure out what it is. And like in this case, I was using oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name, Jane Mansfield, for this. So I'm just trying to make it look like clip art, but then also make it work in a totally different way. So it's so I've had to kind of draw into it. And yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun to get people thinking about drawing and making artwork. And so yeah, that's what I'm working on. And so we'll see how it goes, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, no, it's not. It's false advertising. Yeah, I'm still working on what I want to do with it because I'm trying to get the feel of those things. But yeah, this is going to be a fun part of Bare Knuckle Art School. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff with it. So yeah, I mean, everything that I'm doing and everything I'm working on, it's going to have that element of play and trying to make sure that I get the right vibe for everything I'm doing. And if you have artwork and you're doing comic book pages in Comicsgate and you have something that you want me to review, just let me know on X, and I'll try to see if there's stuff. And if I think it's something I can take a look at, you have to be over 18, and you also have to say, yes, I want you to review this on a live stream, and then I'll take a look at it. And if I know you, I'll, and the work is something I can work with, like it's got to be good enough to critique. I always tell people this, that it's sometimes it's hard to critique. You can't critique work if there's nothing there to build off of. You got to have something to build off of. But I like to walk people through, sort of like what you see me doing here, walk people through how to think about composition and have other people get to see like, oh, cool, like that's a problem I have. I wouldn't think to do that with my work, And that's the stuff I love when I'm looking at artwork. So yeah, let me know and we'll go from there, because I do want to do that at some point. I'm going to play around with this and just sort of see what I can do. This will be fun. Or not. We'll see. Let's go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of... Nope. Get rid of that. And we'll do... First. Paste. Transform. Yeah, knowing how to draw is one of the most important skills for creating good work. Like, you have to know how the drawing works and how to put drawings together, because then you can start to sculpt and you can really start to do some cool stuff with it. And so I always say to people that, if you have a dictionary, you have all of the words, but it's not going to help you to write a story. And it's very similar with artwork. That's kind of fun. I'm probably going to have to turn this at some point, but we're doing this on stream, so you guys are getting a look at it. So let me see here. I think that structurally is going to be a little bit more fun while still keeping it cartoony. But let's show you what we did here. Just little things like that to kind of push the face in the direction I want it to go in. And I may still do more like playing around with it and where I move it, but you get the idea. It's like you can go so many places with it. But you just, as long as you have a destination of where you want to take things, that's the kind of stuff you get to play around with and figure out where it goes. Because I know that, let me go one more layer here. I know that if at a certain point, if I want the cheekbone or whatever it is to sit nicely with, I got to reassert the skull at a certain point in there and push some of these wrinkles in a different direction. And so that's going to be, that's always a part of the process. But just to show you guys a little bit about, how I work and how I approach these things. Because I do think that I benefited a lot from people doing, demonstrations and showing me this stuff and how they worked. But yeah, you can see how you can just keep playing. And I'll start loose and then I'll start to work that stuff in. Let me see what we got here in the chat. Let's see who's here. Dude, what's up, awesome one? How are you doing, man? You like really good stick figures. Yeah, I do like really good stick figures. Snappy wants about a Tree Fitty back. Yeah, it's Tree Fitty. Yeah, I had to give him, so I was looking at things like Rango. I was looking at things like that. I was trying to figure out how to do these things. Then I started looking at George Petty's pinup stuff. And then I was looking at all this stuff. And finally I was like, let me just get a snapping turtle clip art illustration. And then I'm going to figure out how to do all this other stuff. Well, most of this other stuff to it. And then I went in and found I had to ink the thing because none of the lines made any sense whatsoever. Like, they made a little bit of sense, but not enough. Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, it's a part of painting. And I tell people this. Well, the way we used to do it back in the day with layout pages and things was the Artograph DB400 projector. I still own one of those. And so you would do your layout pages, then sometimes you'd go, or you do a sketch and go, I want to scale that up and have that sketch be the face. And you would have all these different processes of opaque projecting down a face and scaling it up on your finish. So lots of stuff. We haven't done any lately, and I'm still looking for a way to do it, but they've been really tough on my pizza live streams. Yeah, stick figures are possibly the best way to set a foundation. They absolutely are. No figure drawings, just stick figures. There you go. Yeah, and so that's the stuff that sort of frees you up when you're doing this kind of stuff, you know, and it's like how you put that stuff together. And so when I was looking at those clip art pieces, I had this, you know, you guys all know what she looks like when I say this. You'll go, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. I had a generic AI female character with generic AI female hair. And I looked at it and I went, okay, this is not, I know what I want. And this is an interesting base. But I've got to do a lot to make it work. And I mean, God. And I don't want to hear any judgments, okay? I don't want to hear anybody mention anything about my pigmentation when I say the next thing. I had to put a little more weight on her. I mean, I swear what they gave me, I was like, this is what AI people imagine, huh? I was like, goodness gracious. And I was like, I want some more Jane Mansfield in this person. You know, so I pushed it within reason. Oh, my Lord. But I was just like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. But those are the things that make it what it is. You know? Are you sure her... I know you know. You guys know this. Her name might not be Bitsy. I know. I need to get back to it. I just want them to... I wish there was a way that you could... they could take... You know, they could know... I mean, there's got to be a way they know that it's these are public domain movies. It doesn't make any sense. But it's some random person is like, I'm the copyright owner on that public domain thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, they've monetized your video. And you've got to figure there's a way to figure that out. Really is strange. There we go. That's a little bit more of what I'm looking for. Because I got to keep it cartoony. I don't want it to be... Yeah. Well, you know. I'm not going to lie about it. Listen now. You guys calm down. That's right. Like, in case like you're wise. You know. You know what I'm talking about. Stick figures are a good thing to collect because everyone can draw. Yeah, and well, I say this too is that stick figures are all you need to learn perspective. And that's another thing too. People spend so much time teaching or learning perspective with way too much detail. And if you get a really good understanding of perspective, it'll pay off in spades. It really is a useful thing. Yeah, I want to use that crazy... you know, you can draw whichever character you like thing. I want to do a t-shirt with it and make like might be a fun thing to have at a convention too as well. That could be a really fun thing to sell. I just have to figure out how to do it all. You know, job one is Nosfero, Springball. Oh gosh, the shows. I got to do some interstitials that I've been working on for hard art. Got to do that. Got to do you know, sort of like little chapter breaks, and then I got to do what else do I have to do? Bare knuckle art school, bunch of different things, right? But we want to keep all this stuff going and make sure we're promoting books, guys. There are links to books in my description. Of course, John Malin's Black Riding Hood, which I showed a little bit before. Let me do this. Let me save this because I want to make sure I show that. For those of you guys coming in late and haven't seen it and are curious to see what a nightmare of layers it is. Let me see here. Let's see here. Recent. No, not that one. How is that a recent? That doesn't look like a recent. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. All right. You can feel like the wheel turning on this computer as it's trying to open this file. There we go. So for those of you guys who haven't backed it yet, and especially for those of you guys who backed it at the box tier, this cover is exclusive to the big box tier, which you get every cover in that. You get everything on that campaign, I think with maybe a few exceptions. But this is the cover that I did that's exclusive for that box for Black Riding Hood. And it's just a love letter to the kinds of comics that John and I love and we grew up on. And that sense of play, that sense of color, that sense of power, and just really going in there and having fun with the details. So if you haven't got a chance to back this, thank you, Alpha Channel. I really do appreciate that, man. Yeah, and that's what makes it fun when I'm doing this stuff. He's black. Yeah, well, that and his hood, too, as well. And what I think is so fun is, sorry for the jittery nature of that zoom if it was jittery, but by getting to paint, I get to do things like really play with the lines, have different color lines, different color things, playing with the sword glare, the idea of like fun, crazy comic stuff like reflecting the bullet, having the smoke and the shell casings coming there, the hot shell casings, the figures. A lot of this stuff is, I wanted to sort of take what I love about the work I grew up on, which is Tim Vigil and Todd McFarlane, and then I wanted to take that and I wanted to cross that over with some of the stuff that's going on with anime right now. And the whole, because I've got kids who grew up on that stuff, and in addition to growing up on all sorts of crazy stuff. And I know that Shane and Yanzi are into, is it Demon Slayer? I can't believe I'm blanking on the names. And so we went to a comic shop. I was looking at that stuff. And I was also thinking about things like Ninja Scroll, which you could probably see a little reference to that in this. And I just thought, I want to really up the energy in this stuff and make it... Because most of the covers... Let me just think if I'm right on this. I'm trying to remember. I think most of the covers that for Black Riding Hood had the character in a more static pose. Might not be all of them, but I think some of them did, where the character was standing there or he was in a pose, a really cool pose. And it just sort of seemed to me like if I was going to do a cover for it, that I needed to do something a little bit different, and I wanted to bring something to it that I know that John's into. So he just did a dynamite Springball cover for me. If you haven't gone to the Springball campaign and backed that book yet, John Malin just really got the character of Springball. He surprised me with that cover. I had no idea he was doing it. He launched the book. He closed out the book. Shane did the first 30 days closeout on it. So those guys, I owe a lot to. Mandy hosted me on there to talk about it a bunch of times. And Ethan, of course, hosted me on a bunch of things. I'm just trying to think of everybody. Now I'm going to leave people's names out. But it was just, the support has been great. And the same thing goes with Nosfero. I think I just dropped my son off for college. And I sent a text to, I was feeling a quart low. I was feeling sad because both of our kids going off to school the same year is tough when you have twins. And I just messaged Ethan. I said, "Hey, can I launch the Second Chance campaign for Nosfero? Would you be willing to host it?" And he's like, "Absolutely. Let me know what time." And so Dale's poster campaign and the Nosfero Second Chance campaign launched on the same stream. It was great, and I'm so grateful to Ethan for that. Just a lot of really cool people have been very supportive, man. Oh, Ethan sent us over here to say hello from his stream earlier today. Oh, that's great, man. What a good dude, man. Yeah, great stuff, man. Yep, and Ethan says hello. Well, I say hello back to Ethan. I say hello back. One of my favorite things I've had the chance to do, and Comic Book One actually owns the original, was Ethan had me do, and I don't have it. I lost it. I lost my only copy of the trading card. Kills me. But was because I got it as a Patreon member. I did a CYBERFROG trading card. It's one of my favorite paintings I've ever done, and I'm so glad it's in a good home. Love drawing CYBERFROG. Love drawing CYBERFROG. It's great stuff. Yes, indeed, Mr. E. We're both Mr. E's in different ways, and Ethan's birthday is actually, I think, the day before mine. I think he's a September 1st. So I was born on Atlas Shrugged Day. And I think there's just like a year between us or so. I can't remember. Yes, go hit the like button, you scurvy dogs. Indeed, God bless you all. Yeah, I love the discussion of art that I hear your chat sessions so often. I especially love the discussion of the emotion, the art. I struggle with that. My carvings, oh man, but wood carving, man, is great. My profile photo is a carving I did. No kidding. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so great. Are you a fan of... Here's a question I have for any wood carvers and people who love wood carving out there. Are you a fan of Jake Weidman's work at all? Do you know Jake Weidman's work? Oh gosh, do I have his stuff here? Home with Monsters. I don't know if I have... Do I have Jake's book here? Where would his book be if I had it? Do you know Jake Weidman's work? 50 in September, you say. I know, right? I know. I'm a babe in the woods. Yes. Oh, man. I love all this stuff, man. Yep. His is the first. Yours and mine are the second. We have the same birthday, Cursed Art Creations. You're kidding me. We have a lot of Septembers here. I think there's more than a few of you guys in the chat. Not familiar with the name. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, let me check here first, because sometimes I have this stuff like on the floor right next to me, and I'll miss it that way. Is this it? No, this isn't it, is it? No, that's not it. Shoot. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, not there. Not there. Not there. Let me see. Not there. Where did I put that? I swear I thought it was here. No, no, no. No. Nope. Not there. It's gotta be here somewhere. Where the heck did I put that? U.S. Constitution. It's there. Nope. It's not there. Shoot, where did I put that? Okay, it's not there. I have a lot of books, guys. Where on earth did I put that? Maybe it's down here? No. Where the heck is that? So frustrating. I know I'm going to find it as soon as I get off the stream. It's just going to be right there, as it always is. Dang. Where would I have put that? Huh. Darn, I couldn't find it. I don't know where I put it, but if you don't know, Shanth gets crushed by a moment of by an avalanche of books. Yes. If you don't know his stuff, his name is Jake Weidman. Maybe I have it here somewhere. I mean, it just seems like it, no. It's not there. It's not there. That's gonna drive me absolutely crazy that I couldn't find that for you. Shoot. But it's a really... Let me see. Is it here by any chance? Nope. I know I'm going to find it just as soon as I'm done looking for it. Okay, so let me put his name in here. I can't call you old as I am, of course. Let me see if I can find... Or let me type his name in here. So, Jake, you will love this. Anyone who has not seen his stuff, you will love this stuff. I hope I'm spelling his name. Maybe it has two N's on it. It might have one N. I'm not sure. But Jake Weidman. Jake Weidman is a master penman, so he does... I think he's the young... Is he the youngest master penman? I'm not sure. He does beautiful, beautiful calligraphic writing. He does all of this incredible stuff. And his... He released a book very recently with his writings, and then it also has... I can't believe I can't find this book. It's driving me crazy. But he released a book with his writings, but he also does wood carving and pen work. He is one of the most skilled people you will ever see. So is that indeed the Springball sword on that cover? Yeah, this cover, for those of you guys who want an Easter egg. If you back the John Malin, the cover, John Malin's Black Riding Hood 2 book, the big box that comes with it, which the link for that, people post in the chat, please. It's in the description. It's on Fund My Comic. This has got a nice little Easter egg for all you Springball fans out there. On the hilt of the sword, and we're going to be closing that out on Hard Art on Wednesday. This week, I think we're closing it out. So make sure you're there. We're going to just try to make sure that number moves on that book, but it's just great. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of an Easter egg right there. In the reflection in the hilt, there's a Springball logo. So there you go, guys. And so lots of fun stuff like that. Always, that's the fun thing about doing comics, you know, because, I mean, John doing that cover for Springball, it felt like it was right and it was a good fit. You know, oh, there we go, jakeweidman.com. Yep, Fund My Shop. Yeah, exactly. You guys are doing that all the time, channel members. Absolutely right. The Maker's Prayer. Yeah, oh, man, that guy, he's something special. Steven, did you order that book? Yeah, get that box, guys. Cursed Star Creations is saying it. That's right. Yeah, I know. We're doing fun stuff here. Steven, did you get that book? I know you got the oh, wait. Hold on a second. No, is it there? Shoot. I know it's over here somewhere. Hold on a second. Hold on. No. It's not here. Hey guys. Not there. I know so frustrating. I know I saw it somewhere. It's not there. Where the heck did I put that? Of course I find a James Bama book that I was looking for. Is it not findable? There it is. Oh. Whew. Okay. Holy cow. Found it. Oh. It was behind a bunch... shocker. It was behind a bunch of stuff in my setup. A bunch of figures. We got it. It's always the last place you look, right? Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you, Mikey Mattis. I appreciate it. Okay, so I was able to track it down. So let's do this. Let me turn off. Doing a little bit of searching here. I'm going to move these layout sketches off of here. And then let's take a look at two things. Found this book I was looking for the other day, which was James Bama, American Realist. It's got the Doc Savage stuff in here. It's got, I'm not going to spend any time on this because we've shown you, we've already looked at James Bama today. I can look at this on another stream. But it's got all of James Bama's awesome pulp stuff. It's got, oh God, he's so good. I can't even look. I have to stop looking at this book. I'm going to just show you a couple of quick things. Look at this. How incredible is this guy? You've seen his portraits. You've seen all that other stuff. How incredible is this guy? So, Jake Weidman. This is his artwork on the cover. He does drawing, painting, and hand lettering. And then he released this beautiful book. How awesome is this stuff? Now, you may know him because when they debuted the Apple Pencil, this is how good he is. They picked a few artists to draw on the... three artists to draw in the first ad for the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro. Jake was the guy who drew the hummingbird. He was one of those guys. Yeah, open that book, you know. Steven, I missed if you answered or not. Did you say you had this book? Did you get this book? Oh, you just looked at... Oh, okay. All right, Steven. I got you, baby. Here you go. Here you go. I am not... Steven, I am not trying... I'm not trying to send you to the poorhouse, okay? But you're going to love this stuff. Look at that. That... Unbelievable. He also did all of these by hand for the book. Gorgeous stuff. He makes his own nib holders. Here he is working on his own diploma, which is what a master penman has to do. They have to create their own certificate. So there he is at work with gold leaf, different colors inks. Yes, there is his, as he likes to say, his incredibly patient, long-suffering wife. It's a great interview with him. Here is his signature when he writes in calligraphy, and then here are some of the things that he studies. Yeah, guys, I'm not even there, and I love this. A prayer of repentance. And my Hebrew is terrible, so I can't read it, but it's pronounce it as well as I'd like to pronounce it. But yeah, he's a Christian artist. And that his faith informs a lot of his work. But this is the stuff you probably saw in the Apple Pencil ad that he does, where he uses calligraphic line and then he works into the drawing aspect of it with pen and ink. I'm incredible. Incredible. You gotta love it. Just crazy. So here you go. This is Jake at 7. So if people are wondering, where does this come from? Yes, he has a God-given talent. Yes, he has incredible talent. But to think that this was without study and hard work is crazy. This is very good for 7. But that's not the point. And filigree. Thank you, Past Master Dan. God bless you. It's great to see you here. Happy Sunday, sir. Happy Sunday. Look at this. Color and color ink. Look at that. How good is that? Just incredible. Yeah, very Art Deco, very Art Nouveau, and then very, 1800s. When the craft was really alive of engrossing and hand lettering and engrossing artwork. But look at this. Look at the paint, what he's doing with the watercolor and ink here. Look at this stuff. I mean, mein Gott, as they say. Dusty Roads. You know it's true. Oh, so good. Here you go. Art is not the origin, but the reflection of beauty. One more time. Art is not the origin, but the reflection of beauty. And this is his art. Look at that. He's able to write it beautifully with the calligraphy, and then he's able to show it with the work. Just incredible. Let's see if I can get a good angle on that. Look at that right there. Just breathtaking work. Just incredible. I mean, I want to live in a world where we pay attention to the art and the creativity around us, and I just love this stuff. See, right? Leighton, you're killing me, man. And it all sort of starts here. You know, you guys backing Springball, and you guys backing NoSphero, and you guys backing CYBERFROG, and you guys backing Black Riding Hood. The end result of that, and Inglorious Rex, for that matter, you know, and all of the stuff we're doing here. I know I'm probably blanking, but you guys know. Put the stuff in the chat. When that happens, when you guys back the books, when those books fund and when you continue to back them, it puts brush to paper, it puts pencil to paper, it puts stylus to screen or stylus to tablet, whatever it is, art starts getting made when you guys do that. When you back the book and we see that money coming in, it is a vote of confidence like you can't imagine for people making artwork. You guys are the modern day patrons. Same thing goes for all you channel members, which is why I always try to make sure to say hi to you guys, hopefully every single time, and why your names are in the credits. You guys, channel members, you guys pay for this party, and that's what makes it great, and I appreciate you so much. I mean, look at what this guy does. That's why I had to buy this book. I have an opportunity to support him and his work. Just unbelievable. This is the one that is coming that's going to get me, so I'm going to show you guys this. This one always gets me, man. Always gets me. And he's showing it bit by bit. So he did a drawing where, and he didn't do it all in one dip because it's a dip pen, but he did one continuous line to do a portrait. And it's going to show you the start of it. That's the start. Here's as it goes out. Oh, you bought the book 5 minutes ago, says Stephen Rockwood. That's awesome. Yep, another book added to my cart on Amazon. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Sorry, Awesome. I don't know why that is. And here you go. Here's more. Here's more. And then here's the finish. A single line getting thicker and thinner and weaving out almost like ripples in a pond to make this portrait. And he has to dip the pen and continue the line. And he says that all it takes is for the pen to drop a little splatter of ink and it's over. He goes, I did not want to use whiteout. I didn't want to correct anything. I wanted to do this. And the amount of focus that's involved is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right? I know. Tammy, I know. Yeah, Mark. It's insane. What a beautiful... Yeah, it looks like a fingerprint. Looks like a tree stump. You're right. Looks like the rings. It feels totally natural. But it's the result and it's the product of all of this skill and this discipline that goes into Jake's work. It's just an incredible artist. And here's his pencil sketches for when he does his engrossing and his... I mean, it's just incredible what he does. And then here is where we're going to get into... This is his Master Penman certificate. You have to create your own when you become a Master Penman. And this is the start of some of his wood carving. Right? Infamous Mr. Kirst, you're absolutely right. Very genuine. It's just... Art should be elevating things. And you guys know that faith plays a role in NoSphero. That's a big part of it. Here's him doing pencil drawings for a wood carving. It arrives tomorrow, says Stephen Rockwood. I knew it would come fast. You'd have to grab that thing. Look at this, guys. When you back books and you get books, it's you guys see me running around like a chicken with my head cut off, looking for things in my library. But a library can be so good for your soul. Particularly, here's the finished design, by the way, of those details you were seeing. Look at this. Isn't that incredible? I don't have a special pen. This guy actually makes his own pen holders, which is crazy. Like he has a wood turner that he does his and makes custom pen holders that you can buy. They're fabulously expensive. But I actually right now the pens that I'm using when I do use a pen, I'm using the Tombow. Was it the Fujinosuke? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's those pens. I use those. Those are great. Yeah, lots of different stuff. Then usually I use a brush. So. This is the crazy part where he's like writing, showing his scripting, showing his family, and here is where he's showing this wood design and this is the carving. And then he's doing the gold. So here he is carving it, putting it together. There he is applying the gold leaf. And there's the finish of the wings. Oh yeah, here he is doing the work, as they say. Yep, absolutely he's a woodcarver at heart. Your tiny effort, you're 100% right. He's absolutely a woodcarver at heart. Now, this is what he built when they had their first baby. So there's their first baby, and if you look right there, you can see what he carved, which is just incredible. He carved a swan rocker. So it sits on a piece of, I believe it's glass, that is designed like water ripples, and it rocks side to side in there. And he carved that. It's just absolutely madness. Actually, that might be woody carved for the water, come to think of it. I mean, look at this. See? Right? Yeah. What we do here, this is an inspiration preserve. That's what we're here to do. You know? Doing the sculpting, I have the, yes, appears in my dreams. Yes, I can imagine. Yeah. Rock of Ages. Yeah. Do you guys see what I mean? Surround yourself with conversations about beauty and beautiful things, and you will feel it'll just be good for you. I think that's what people are seeing, like when we're doing these art streams too. And of course, Comicsgate Kings is tomorrow night, and so there will be an art stream where people draw live, and we joke and we talk and we do what we do. But ultimately, it's just this joy of putting this stuff together. Look at that, man. Just wild. And of course, he loves scripting in circles. You guys can see that. Jewelry design. There's nothing that he doesn't do. He just loves to just craft various things. And I love this. Look at that. Look at the finish. Isn't that beautiful? Mine will be here on the 17th, says Cursed Art Creations. See? Ripples. It's all about those ripples, guys. And then it spreads out, and art spreads out, inspiration spreads out. It's all a part of it. Look at the beauty of what he's doing here. And the commitment, the discipline. Just beautiful. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross. I mean, gorgeous. Just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I know, guys, I am sorry. I'm sorry, but, you know, a library will save you. It's a great thing, Cursed Art. Let me see. Oh my gosh, my glasses just slipped again. I had dreamed of building the ultimate tricked out treehouse. Oh, that's awesome. If I ever had a child, sadly it didn't happen, but it wasn't in God's plan for me. Well, listen, somewhere there's a kid who wants that treehouse. So, you know, you've got time yet. You never know. A tricked out treehouse is a gift to the world. Look at that. And then here's, like, you know, he talks about his tools and the paintings and stuff that he does. Just gorgeous attention to detail. Just great attention to detail. And, oh yeah, this one I loved. This was, if I can find it. Is that the one? Yes. Of Smoke and Sea. This is a drawing and an illustration he did. I think it's beautiful. He illustrated a drop shadow. Yes, he did. He's a madman. He's a madman. The whim of a madman. And then here is the... let's see if I can find it here. But this is the compass carving. This large-scale compass carving he's working on. Look at this stuff. This guy is absolutely nuts. My wallet, Shanth. All them books. I know. Sorry if it was Mr. Curse. There you go. Technology is great. But I and the camera killed a lot of art. That's yeah. AI and the yes, I got you. You killed a lot of art. If AI gives us universal basic income, I can only pray these skills will be rediscovered. Here's the crazy thing, right? He's rediscovering them, and every time we do these streams and we show up and we do the things that we're doing, it's all about rediscovering the skills. As long as we can have those conversations, and we're going to have fun conversations and interesting conversations here. Every time I do a members only stream with John and we talk comics, interesting conversations happen. You know, it's Shane on the last stream when Shane was talking about, Adam Kubert and his layouts, and we were deep diving into that and talking about it. And Shane has these one-on-one experiences with them, and then there's my experiences I've had with Brian and the things he's taught me, the various teachers I've worked with, professional friends. It's just great, man. It's just a great place to be. So make sure if you're a channel member here and you're looking to be a channel member somewhere else, I know some of you already are. John Malin does a great comic book stream, and I'll be over there for Hard Art on Wednesday. Ethan does incredible stuff where he's doing these drawing streams now. If you want to see somebody doing this kind of detailed work, Ethan's got you covered. But look at what he ended up with. Just incredible. Oh, the Maker's Prayer. I love this. This is a great way. This will be a great way for us to wrap up. I cannot pronounce. I'm terrible at it. Great art thou, Jehovah, Elohim. I can't pronounce it. I'm so sorry. The eternal creator. Great art thou, Jehovah, Elohim. How do I always pronounce that badly? The eternal creator. I rejoice in the beauty of thy name. Let my heart echo the refrain as the seraphim sing, holy, 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 holy is the Lord God Almighty. Join with me, thy created Son, and I with thee, my maker be. Lead me by the power of thy Spirit. Teach me to create in accordance with thy will. Bless the works of my hands, O God. Give me ears to hear the truth thou hast spoken. Give me eyes to see the fullness of thy beauty. Give me breath to speak the goodness of thy name. Be my strength when I grow weary. Be my guide when skill runs out. I love that. Be my guide when skill runs out. Be my wisdom when talent fails me. Be my assurance in times of doubt. Take joy in me as I create with thee, made more in the likeness of thy Son. Receive unto thee my works as prayers, and meet me when my head is bowed. When effort is spent and day is done, let the works of my hands sing thy glory. Let the lasting change not be the mark of the page, but my soul's forever conformed to thy image. Amen. And there is Jake's beautiful work. I feel so grateful to be living in a time where his work is being created. Anybody living in a time after his work has been created is also going to benefit from it. And there is so much incredible work that is out there for people to check out and for people to see. And it's the pleasure I feel like when I'm working on Nosfero, when I'm working on Springball, all of this work, no matter where this stuff goes, there's this guide of we love heroism, we love craftsmanship, we love beauty, but also we love the kind of crazy hammer horror film darkness and craziness. And this is the stuff where it's like it's all can be a part of it, whether it's Solomon Kane or the hammer horror films. It can be pulp. It can be all of those crazy, amazing things that we love. But we want to bring this time together because the thing that makes Comicsgate cool are just the fun, crazy interactions we have. And yeah, sometimes people go nuts. It's going to happen anywhere. But what I like about it is being able to talk about art with people, being able to spend this time together, which is truly precious. To sort of share what's going on behind the scenes and to always express my thanks for you guys being channel members, for you guys continuing to support what I do, for backing these books. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the Sunday. And I've enjoyed this time with you guys and showing the books and the artwork. So allow me to say, from the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanth Jetty. You've been watching Shanth Jetty Art. And I am so grateful to all of you guys. Speak easy, keep the faith, Stay gold, and peace be with you guys. I appreciate you guys. Give nihilism no quarter. I will see you guys very, very soon, I promise. And yeah, if anybody's having a tough time out there, I've been spending some quality time with people I know going through tough times, and being on the phone, be there for people, bring beauty into their life, encourage them to do things that bring them joy, whatever their hobbies or interests are. You can't have too much of that in times of trial. And I thank you guys for being here for me and my family. Thank you guys so much. All right, take care, Timmy Mello. Pleasure seeing you. Great seeing you, Mark's Music Obsession, of course. I cannot wait to get you that painting and those books. It's going to be so fun. Let me see. Yep, Mr. Stephen Rockwood, always keeping it real. Always keeping it real. What would I do without you, brother? What would I do without you? God bless you, Mikey. Thank you for being here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you guys. Alpha Channel, 100%. Back at you, awesome one. Thank you, Cursed Art Creations. Much appreciated. Thank you, infamous Mr. Curse. I appreciate it. Leighton, thank you so much. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys so much. And indeed it is. Indeed it is. And that's why we get to come together here. Thank you, Soul Curialt. I appreciate you so much. And all of you guys, thank you for being here. And I will see you guys very, very soon. If you're a channel member, your name is in the credits. Take care, everybody. And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Bye.
Charge!